Hello, everyone, and welcome to the pod. You heard it here. Eventually,
Boom.
I can't roll my R's. Yeah, I can't do that. I don't know how I'll learn Spanish, but one day I will. Uh, yeah, but no pausing. That was the best I could do.
Right into the action.
Yeah, that's actually really the best I can do. So
Damn.
there we go. Close. That was close.
That's not close, but that's okay.
It's all right. All right. Do we want to start with medical stuff or our big old titties?
Um let's start with the big titty. Some good news.
Some good news. I mean, the medical, just so we're clear, the medical stuff is not all. We're not dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll start with. We'll start. Well, yeah, everyone's technically
Or
dying,
actually
right?
the big titty's gonna take longer.
That's
And
true.
if that's the chunk of the episode, let's have them wait for it.
All right. Yeah, let's not do a big titty first. I think it might be the first time like ever where it wasn't just a tangent. It was something on the agenda that superseded the big titty.
Yeah.
Is there something weightier than the biggest of titties? Who knows? Yeah, so let's start with the medical stuff. I'll go first.
All right.
I'll go first. So I think like 2 episodes ago, talking about how I hurt my back and I might wince mid podcast. Well, it happened again, just in a different spot, but the exact same type of pain. And the thing that happens to me is like my spine doesn't move as well as it should from years of crouching over a computer and playing video games or holding a controller or just being a lazy butthole who crouches and slouches all the time. So I jumped up for in volleyball to spike, and I hit the ball and I landed. And instead of like bracing myself, I just kind of landed stiff as a board, and all the shock went up my body and up through my spine. And I guess since my spine is now from physical therapy becoming slightly more mobile, my body freaked the fuck out, and all the muscles in the lower back all tightened up, super, super, like just like bulletproof level of just flexing constantly. Which, if you've ever had a cramp, you know it's painful as all hell. So this is right to the right of my lower spine. Like think like 3 inches above the top of my right ass cheek.
Damn.
That's where it is. That's where it's super tight. It still hurts. I went to PT and he like kind of massaged it out, but all he did was make it swell really bad. So when I had to sit in a chair the next day, I could just feel that part of my body constantly.
And he was just like, yeah, it'll go away eventually.
Well, he said it made it go away faster probably than me struggling. But so just to put it into perspective, the amount of pain I was in was on Tuesday night this happened. So on Wednesday, my fiance was at the gym working out, and I'm like, I'm gonna get up and try and walk the dogs. And this is at 8:30 a.m. I have to start working at 9:30. It took me about 2 minutes, but I managed to get myself into a sitting position because I have a Tempur-Pedic bed and it's soft and it's tough to move in. And every time I woke up in the middle of the night and moved my body a little bit, searing pain in the entirety of my right back. So I managed to get myself into a sitting position. I tried to stand up 3 times and I just physically couldn't. I don't know if it was my brain stopping me because I was so afraid of the pain I was going to experience or if my muscles really were just failing. But somehow it was kind of connected to my right leg. So like my right quad, I would have a shooting pain down it throughout the day later on. And when I went, he was working on my back. He could make the pain happen basically by working on my back. So whatever muscle wraps from your back around into the front of your leg to help control like your walking stuff was irritated from it. So sometimes I'd be walking and my right leg would almost give out and my back would have shooting pain through it.
Damn.
But basically I couldn't get up, so I laid back down and watched a couple more episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine that I was rewatching because the first 4 seasons are on Netflix now. And my fiance came home, had to lift me back up into the sitting position, and then had to literally lift me off the bed and then threw me into my dresser because she had to run to a work meeting. And then I slowly, by holding on to dressers and walls, managed to push myself to the bathroom. And of course, I've had to poop this whole time, so I had to try to get myself onto the toilet. So I did. Standing up from the toilet was excruciating, but I managed to do it without having to call her in because that would have been truly embarrassing. But yeah, no, I'm getting better. But my back until today, my back has been in so much pain I couldn't walk my own dog. He's just too strong. So my fiance had to walk the 100-pound Zeus while I walked the 40-pound, very much gentler Kira. That's my medical stuff for right
Listen,
now.
everyone in the comments should tell him that now that, he's feeling better, he can get to his tablet. He should read the comic books that I've graciously allowed him to read for free, might I add.
But how did you do that?
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I got the
Are you
code.
admitting? Are
What,
you admitting to things?
what are you talking about? This is legal. I get a code in each physical
Oh, okay. All right.
comic book.
Yeah.
And then I apply it to my account. He's trying to cancel me.
And I thought that we were pirates.
Yeah, I know. He thought that he could cancel me. Little did he know, I don't pirate anything nowadays.
Nothing.
I don't think anything.
Would you though? Let's go on a quick tangent.
No, because one time Comcast sent me a letter because I pirated the Flash, the CW series, and I got scared.
Right. But just so you know, when they send you those letters, they would never prosecute you. The only people they actually prosecute are the people that upload it and share it. So when they send you a letter saying, "Hey, don't do this on our network," it's just a scare tactic. They would never try to prosecute.
Wait, but what if, because like with uTorrent, you can like download stuff and then you can like seed stuff so other people's downloads go faster. Can you get in trouble for that?
You probably could, but I don't think that you're the main source of it. And as long as you're not connected constantly uploading, I doubt they'd go after you as the main pirate. Like they wouldn't really. It would be a waste of resources and money for them to go after all of the people that torrent and pirate stuff.
Yeah.
It's the few people that have like data centers worth of things that they're uploading to the public that they want to go after. That's why you're downloading it from all these servers in like Latvia and Russia and China and stuff. The places where the people who actually care can't get to you.
Yeah. Yeah, so that scared me, and I've been scared ever since. And I haven't torrented anything.
I would pirate unavailable manga, like that I can't get print or digitally on Shonen Jump app, because I'm not going to pay for another app, I don't think. Depends on what it costs.
But would you pay for like what if they had a digital manga on the store that you pay for like the volume one time?
If I could buy the whole thing for like one flat fee and it seemed like a decent fee and I knew I was going to like it, I would do it.
All right.
Like if I had read stuff and I knew how to do it, I would do that. They don't really have that though.
I don't think so.
Like if it's not on the app and you don't have the subscription, like where you can read them all for free anyway, it seems like you can't. And I would do it with anime too, mostly because I refuse to get High Dive. They don't have enough good stuff. The 1 or 2 series that they have that I want to watch, sometimes they come to Hulu, sometimes they go to some other streaming service, and I just gotta wait. But once I get caught up, I want to just watch it live. I would probably pirate that. I have not to date actually done it, but I probably would.
Yeah, if his internet service is watching, he has not done it. No, but
like I just said, I don't care if they're watching. Verizon, come at me. I haven't pirated anything yet, and even if I do, go ahead, send me the letter. I don't care.
Damn. Yeah, no, usually like most of my shit is like I would just wait unless like I don't know. I'll mod shit, which is illegal technically. Like at least I think. Like in 14.
You'll use a emulator.
Or that, or if that counts,
illegal.
Yeah, then yeah, of course, like I'm pirating.
Yeah, if you don't own the physical version of it somehow, or like a physical or digital version in some platform, it's illegal to actually emulate it.
Okay, then technically, if we're talking pirating, yes, I play emulators.
I actually wasn't counting that because I think everyone on Earth does that, and no one really ever gets unless you develop the emulator. Well, then and then Nintendo exclusively goes after you. No other company really cares.
Yeah, which is crazy that second tangent, they went after Yuzu, which is the Switch emulator, and then Citra got shut down. So that sucks because they just didn't want to deal with the flack. But I'm sure either an equivalent will be up soon or there will be links to download Citra from people who are uploading it also.
You know what? Unless somehow the Switch emulator works to play Switch 2 games, since they're probably so close to the Switch 2 actually coming out, I can't believe they care this much.
Yeah.
If it's the same dev kit, and the Switch 2 really is just Switch version 1.5, it's just updated like hardware, but the same exact software running it. Honestly, shame on Nintendo.
Also, like Nintendo emulates their shit all the time. I'm pretty sure any time that
poorly.
Yeah.
They emulate their shit poorly.
Like,
They
no,
should hire these people.
but also like even with the like on the Wii U when there was the virtual console where you could play like Super Mario 64, you could play like Game Boy games, DS games, you could play like any games on the Wii U. All that was just an emulator. So it's like if there was a legal way to buy any game ever, I would probably buy them legally. Like if there was like if Nintendo released like, hey, this is our Visual Boy Advance that you could download, and here's literally any game ever for the Game Boy, 100% I would buy every game instead of pirating it or downloading it. It's just that they don't allow us to play that shit.
Yeah. And like now it's going even worse in the other direction with where you have like heads of studios saying you have to get used to not owning your digital content.
Yeah.
I really hope that sparks a wave of laws for your digital content that you purchase and own has to be available to you in perpetuity of your life, or like basically forever. It has to be available forever.
Yeah, it should be forever because it's like it's the same thing with like your grandfather giving you a VHS. Like you should be able to be like, here, grandkid, here's my password. Enjoy all these movies I own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just stupid to think that you can't do that.
You bought them.
Yeah.
Bought it. You technically, when you buy something like that, you're understanding that you own it. And there's got to be some weird legal mumbo jumbo that lets them get away with you not owning it that they need to
I
fix
wonder if
that
it's like in like the terms of service of the console itself, if we're talking like video games, that just allows them to do that like we don't even
that and like Funimation merging with Crunchyroll, you lose all your stuff. But
yeah, didn't they say they're working on that too?
It available. I don't know. I haven't seen an update.
I thought after the backlash they were like, oh, maybe we're working on this, but I could be wrong.
But the thing is, like, I think that everything that was viable on Funimation is going to be on Crunchyroll for free if you have the premium subscription. Yeah. But if you don't want to get Crunchyroll Premium and you already bought this, it should be available to you through whatever your account is, and they should merge the accounts or whatever.
Yeah, like I gave you the code for my Broly Blu-ray, so that's probably gone. But Broly's also on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I assume it's gone. To be honest, and since it's on Crunchyroll, I don't care. That's the only thing that I owned on Funimation.
Yeah.
Oh, did I buy? I may have bought on a Funimation account the Mugen Train. Because that came to Funimation first.
Yeah. I think I streamed it. I think I had an account at that point. But yeah, tangent over, I guess.
Done.
Oh my god. What just
Here's the medical. Here's Vinny's medical thing.
Hang on, a Wallace sponsor.
Yeah, also Coke.
So I think we mentioned it a couple times when I was doing like my update for like my New Year's resolution. I was like, hey, I'm not going to the gym. And then I was like, hey, I am going to the gym now. So last week, I think it was last Monday, it was raining. And I was like, I'm not going to go to the gym because it's raining out and I don't want to walk. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be responsible. I'm not going to not work out. I'm still going to work out. I am just going to pull up a YouTube video and follow along with some workout there. So I typed in on Google, workout at home, no weight, beginner. And I found this video that was like 20 minutes beginner workout. And I clicked on it. I was like, oh, that's cool. But I was like, normally when I work out for 30 minutes because my exercise ring on my Apple Watch is 30 minutes. So I went back to the search result. Yeah. I like to close my rings. And so I went back to the search result and the next video was 30 minutes. But little did I know, the video didn't say beginner. It just said 30-minute at-home workout, no weight, whatever. So I click it. I'm doing the workout. I'm doing some lunges. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing at this point, but I'm just doing it. And with this workout, the thing that was weirder, or at least like unusual for me, is it wasn't like, hey, we're going to do 3 sets of this workout for 5 times or whatever. It was, you're going to do this workout for 45 seconds, and then you're going to rest for 15 seconds. Then you're going to do workout B for 45 seconds, rest for 15 seconds, go back to workout A 45 seconds, 15 seconds. And so it was those groups of 4s throughout the whole video for 15 minutes, or for 30 minutes. And I get through probably like 2.5 of the workouts. I'm like 7 minutes into the video and I am cooked. Also, side note, I didn't eat breakfast nor lunch that day, and that's where I fucked up. Um, so
Well,
I'm cooked at this point, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pause the video for a second. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna hop right back into it. So I pause the video, and I think I sit down on my bed, and I'm just like taking deep breaths, and I'm like, I'm feeling nauseous now. So then I go to the bathroom, and I'm sitting on my bathtub, trying to like puke into the toilet. But remember, I didn't eat that morning, so nothing's coming up. So I'm just dry heaving into the toilet. I think like probably I tried like 10 times to throw up and just nothing's coming up. So I'm like, okay, I need to drink some water. I'm like at this point, I'm not like, I'm almost like screaming because I'm in so much pain. I'm like, ah!
Try to
And
Goku the vomit out of
yeah,
your body. Yeah.
yeah. And
He's either gonna throw up or he's turning Super Saiyan.
one of
Let's
the
see where the
two.
story goes.
And so I'm like, okay, I need water. I need something inside me to relieve myself. So I go up, I get my water. Owala. Shouts out ice cold, love it. On my desk right here always. And I take a couple sips and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little better. I'm gonna go back to the bathroom. I'm gonna sit down for a second. And we're just gonna see what happens. If I throw up, I throw up. If I don't, I don't. Cool. As I'm walking back to the bathroom, I faint. And I wake up on the bathroom floor. I'm not sure how long I was out. I want to say 3 to 5 minutes. That's my guess.
Mhm.
Um, and I wake up to the sudden urge to shit my pants, and I'm like, oh no, did I shit my pants while I was out? And that was my first thought. So I sit on the toilet and I'm rubbing my face, and I'm like, oh my god, what just happened? And I pull my hands away, and I just see blood all over my hands, and I'm like, oh shit, my nose is bleeding from the fall. Turns out I think when I fell, I have my sink. I fell onto my sink with my chin because this part of my chin hurts like a motherfucker still, and I bit
Sorry.
my top teeth bit into my bottom lip. It's better now. You can barely. It's still like a little dark, but
I can see it a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so this lip was fat as hell, and it was just bleeding for honestly I thought I was also dying because the bleeding wouldn't stop. It was like an hour later and it was still bleeding. Um but now it's fine. And yeah, and then I didn't shit my pants. The story would have been much funnier if I did shit my pants, but unfortunately I didn't.
Mm.
Um
Damn it.
and
Unacceptable.
then I made my round of calls. I Ben was at work. And he has a doctorate, so I was like, I think I just had a medical emergency. I was like, I'm fine now. But I think I just experienced a medical emergency.
It'd be crazy if it was like, this is Vinny's ghost texting you from my body. I did.
I'm dead. Because he was also like, if I was home, like, there was like a 50-50 chance we would have called an ambulance. Because, like, he's like, if a student is working out or in a game and they pass out, like, obviously that's like the first thing we do. So he was like, I would have tried to wake you up, but if you were still out, there's a good chance we would have called an ambulance.
Mhm.
And then he was like, I mean, we can like check you for a concussion, but I don't even think we ended up doing that because like I didn't have any of the symptoms that he was concerned about.
Slurring your words,
Yeah.
falling, like having
Balance
drowsiness
issues,
out
yeah.
of nowhere, balance issues. Yeah.
Also, I learned fun fact: not falling asleep is a complete myth. When they
You
say,
can obviously sleep.
yeah, he
It
was like,
just risks making it worse a little bit, though.
well, he said it's
think.
like no. He said the reason that we used to say that is because with like the slurring of the speech and with the balance issues, they were like, don't sleep so we can monitor if those get worse. Now there's like brain detection shit where it's just like, hey, you can just go to a hospital, they can scan it and see if you got one. So I mean, it's a myth if you're
That
like
makes sense.
in civilization. If you're in like the rural bumfuck nowhere, yeah, maybe don't sleep, see if it gets worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I mean, like, I called my mom. She was like, "Oh my god," and she was like, "You're fine." And then
She's like, I told you to lose weight.
I know she's like, "You're fine." Um, and I called my friend Olive, and he was like, "Holy shit! Like, are you good?" And then I told him about the not eating, and he was like, "Okay, so you're dumb." And I was like, "I understand that. So the reason that I did that in the first place is because my normal workout routine is I'll eat breakfast, like anywhere from like 9 to 10. I'll go to the gym, but I'm not like stressing or I'm not like exerting myself too much. I'm just like doing the bike, the elliptical, the treadmill, and then I'll eat lunch after that. I think this workout was just too much. Well, one, it was too much for me in general. Two, it was way too much for an empty stomach, and three, I'm just out of shape. But we're working on it. So I'm done with that video. I'm sticking to my bike, treadmill, elliptical only.
So, so I mean, there's a couple of things that came to mind. He told me too, and I was trying to give him a little bit of advice. I didn't realize what you searched for when you found that video, though.
Mm-hmm.
Which no weight workouts. I don't know if there's really a difference, but you could search for calisthenic workouts, which is just using your own body weight, which is basically the same thing. Those are some of the most brutal exercises ever.
Oh.
All these things online say if you really want to get ripped, you do calisthenics. You don't use weight. You just
Then
use
what the
a
hell?
lot of things that burn body fat.
So searching beginner does nothing?
I mean, I'm sure you'll find some beginner ones, but you might find like beginner for bodybuilders or like beginner for like different levels.
Well, Ben was like, I don't mean offense by this because I would also maybe need a video like this, but he's like, you might want to search maternity workout videos.
Damn. I would expect that kind of burn from your mom, not from Ben.
No, I mean, he knows what's up.
I'm not going to lie. Your mom can throw out some.
I know.
Some sick insults.
That's what I'm saying, and no one believes me. One of my friends, Olive, who I mentioned earlier, he's coming to Chicago soon, and we're going to dinner at this pizza place that's close to my mom, and she's like, "Oh, I'll come." And the only time he's really heard my mom talk was when she asked me, like, "Hey, my computer mouse isn't working. What's wrong with it?" And I was like, "Did you unplug it and replug it?" And that worked. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're the best. Thank you so much. You're a light from God." She didn't really say that, but she's like hyping me up. So he thinks my mom is the nicest person. Yeah. So he thinks my mom is the nicest person ever. Not that she's not. Not that she's like a bully, because like I can handle any roast that she gives me. So he's gonna see the true mother, and I'm sure that'll be eye opening.
She's gonna be saying stuff like, "You really think you should be eating that pizza?"
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
No, but listen, we are 12 down. So
that's applaudable.
Yeah. I started at 254.
More than I've ever done.
I'm down to 242. This week was a wash.
He almost weighs less than me.
You also have how much height on
6'1".
me? Yeah. You have like 4 inches. Yeah. No, but now I forgot what I was gonna say. It was gonna be I think
down
like
12.
Yeah. So last week I was 242, and it's weird that obviously the weight loss is the progress is gonna slow down like tremendously. Like I think like the first week I lost like 6 or something. This week was a wash. Like I was 242 last week. I was 242 this week. Partially, I wonder though because I'm still in a deficit calorically, so I wonder if the workouts really do matter that much. So I need to get back into it.
Your body will adapt. Your body will adapt when you change your diet.
Yeah.
I think it takes like 3 weeks to kind of change it to kill your appetite. That's what a nutritionist told me at one point. Like if you do this crazy fat burning diet and you have very low calories, you'll kill your appetite, so you won't feel as hungry as often. You can eat 5 small meals a day, which is what they recommend, so you keep your metabolism burning and stuff, which also helps get rid of the fat. But yeah, everyone's gonna plateau. There's no one on earth that's trying to lose weight and doesn't plateau. You just got to power through it. And I think the recommended weight change is 1 to 2 pounds per week.
Mm-hmm.
And your first week is going to be water weight, and obviously like you've never worked out and your body's like, what the fuck is happening to me right now, you know? Like you see all those like health class cartoons where your insides, like your heart's like pumping faster, and it's like, oh my God,
yeah,
what is he doing? You know?
I also wonder, because so I put my current weight, I put my goal weight, and it said 2130 calories. And I wonder at what point in the weight loss do I need to adjust, because I assume it's not 2130 the whole time to get to 200. I don't know if that's true. But like I assume at some point it's gonna need to adjust, and I don't know if the app will auto adjust that to me. Like if it's like if I put in a certain weight and it's like, oh, now you need to start eating this much calories, or if it's like something that I need to manually do.
Yeah, I don't know. The calories shouldn't fluctuate too much because you burn like X amount of calories just breathing and your heart pumping throughout the day and your brain being active.
Yeah.
Like basically, if you're alive, you burn X calories per day. And honestly, the bigger you are, the more calories you burn passively because your heart has to work harder.
Yeah.
And all these other systems in your body have to work harder to process things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would auto adjust, but I don't think that it would change drastically from week to week. So
yeah, it hasn't yet.
I don't
so
need to worry too much.
I
If
don't
you
know.
really are killing your appetite, you could just start eating less. You could have like just yogurt for breakfast and then like just something small, like have like a bigger meal for lunch, like something solid, like a protein, and then have like a snack pack of cheese or something like for another snack just to keep everything going.
Yeah. But yeah,
Not that I'm a nutritionist. I'm just saying these are the things that I've seen people that are very in shape do, and they've told me it works for them. So
yeah. But yeah, so that's my medical scare. We're all good now. I didn't go to the doctor, but I also, don't think I really need to.
yeah. All right. Good. Glad you're healthy. Glad both of us are on the mend.
Yeah.
Let's just do positivity. There we go. Hashtag positivity. Maybe at one point I'll plug my physical therapist when he fully fixes my body and I no longer hunch over and my spine moves the way that normal human spines are supposed to move and stuff. And my muscles don't randomly freak out every time I move in a certain weird new direction.
Yeah, all 10 of our listeners go whenever he plugs it, go follow his physical therapist.
I think they do have a social media account. They have like a social media person. It's a husband and wife team that they just started this practice like a couple of months ago. So yeah. They're really good. They're really good. Out of network though, so I have to pay $250 per visit.
Damn. Also,
pretty crippling financially.
I don't get insurance. Another tangent. What's insurance? The CT scan wasn't fully covered apparently.
Yeah, so you have to like talk to the insurance rep about it, but you probably faced something that the hospital might have been out of network. So like this is something you have to check with everything, by the way. Just so you know, now that you're finally going to fucking doctors again, you son of a bitch. Like you could go for your yearly physical, which is always covered. Every insurance plan in America will cover a yearly physical for free. You never have to pay for that. But if you get blood work done, and you could even get blood work done by a person who's in network and you don't have to pay for it. But if they send the blood to a laboratory that's not in network, you'll get charged for it.
No, but
I had to pay $120 one year for my yearly physical blood work. I called insurance. They told me that's why.
Damn. Well, my sister, because she works like in insurance and all that, and she told me that it's because my deductible is like 1,000 or something, and so she said because I didn't meet my deductible is why. Because so my insurance called me and they're like, "Hey, this is covered." I actually just got something in the mail that was like requested 1 CT scan, covered 1 CT scan. But then I went online and it was like the CT scan was like 1028 or something, and I still need to cough up $600 because they're only covering like half of it. That's a load of bullshit.
So they'll do your deductible stuff when you have to meet your deductible, which is usually a yearly thing. So you might have a deductible that, let's say your deductible is $1,000 for in-network procedures or whatever. Every copay that you pay, if you go to the doctor a bunch or a specialist, every procedure you pay for, it goes toward the $1,000 deductible. Once you hit that, the next stage of your insurance kicks in, which you have to read the policies. But basically, let's say you're at $1,000 deductible, and then after that, insurance says they'll pay for 100% of in-network things. You pay for nothing else after that. Basically, your deductible would be your your out of pocket.
Yeah.
You have like an out of pocket maximum and a deductible. Usually, it's like deductible 1,000, out of pocket maximum 2,500. Once you hit 1,000, you don't really have to pay the base rate for procedures anymore, but you have to pay something called like a co-insurance. So insurance covers 80% of the fee, you cover 20. Once you pay 20% enough to reach $2,500 that you've paid yourself, that insurance considers you to have paid, because your doctors could bill insurance something and insurance could say, no, that procedure doesn't cost that much. We're only going to cover $500 worth. So even if your copay was like whatever, you expect them to pay 1,000, but they only paid 500. You'd have to like call your insurance company to know that to Like, to be
Yeah,
honest,
I just
it's
don't get
very
like
behind the
where
scenes.
where they came up with this like 50-50 almost, because yeah, like I got called and I was like, she was like, oh yeah, just want to let you know like it's being covered. Here's the claim key or what ID.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, and I was
It's
like, oh
very difficult.
cool. And then yeah, I got this letter today that was like, oh yeah, it's you requested one covered one. And then I log in and I got a notification from my medical app and it was like, you have a new outstanding balance,
So
$600.
you should also call insurance because there's a chance that like whatever the procedure was billed incorrectly or coded incorrectly, and they think it costs less than it did.
Oh.
That's another thing that I've dealt with where someone like a doctor submits something, but they code it like as a checkup, and it's really supposed to be a follow up, and so they're billed differently. It's all super convoluted, and not to get political, but it is one of the main reasons why a lot of people want like socialized healthcare the way Canada and Europe have them, because it get like you have more lines, longer lines at hospitals and doctors and shit, but it gets sort of all this headache of having to do all this stuff yourself and having to become an insurance expert if you are medically in need of using medical services more often.
Yeah.
Like the reason why I know so much is because I've had so many fucking issues and I've gone to so many specialists for like my knees and now my back and my shoulder and shit.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I know any of this stuff.
My sister
But
said it
yeah, you
also
should
might be
call.
like oh, if your doctor says it was necessary, but then your insurance doesn't think it's necessary, like that can also factor into it.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does the insurance know?
The doctors have to then call your insurance and make the case for you.
Yeah, which is just stupid. It's like, why would
Then you have to get in touch with your doctor and tell them, hey, they have to fight for you because they don't always know that insurance decided this.
And it's like, what the like? Who is the insurance to? Why would the doctor order it if it wasn't necessary?
Exactly.
Who's the insurance company?
Insurance in this country sucks. That's one of the main reasons why. Because like it's not a doctor that's evaluating if it's medically necessary. They look at your file. They say, oh, you know what? He never had any back pain. There's no way that he needs this procedure. He should go for an MRI first. He should go to a regular doctor first. He should follow these steps.
Which then would cost more in the long run.
Break your fucking back.
Yeah.
And you go to the hospital. They don't really factor that in. They're like, oh, he didn't go to his primary care first, so fuck this guy. He went to step 3. Should have done step 1. And then your doctor has to call and be like, hey, fuck nuts. He broke his back. I had to go in and fix it. Are you fucking kidding me? And then they basically just listen to whatever the doctor says. But until the doctor has a direct conversation with the insurance company, it usually doesn't happen.
That's crazy.
You have to fight this shit all the time because insurance is going to lowball the doctor and they're going to try and nickel and dime everything. And they just suck.
That's crazy.
They just fucking suck. So,
listen, I'm on board with Canada healthcare, socialized healthcare. I'm on board.
As am I. I'm tired of paying thousands of dollars a year and still being totally fucked up. But yes, all right. Tangent 2 done. Kind of. It was kind of related. Let's do the big city now.
All right.
Let's do the big city now because I want to talk about it. How far in are we? I didn't look
about a half hour.
Half hour, good, perfect. We'll still be able to get to probably at least 2 more things after the big titty.
Yeah.
That one. Big titty. I'll go first because it's my episode. My name is on the episode. It's 35. That's Dragons. That's Dragons episode. So my big titty is, I'm sure most people probably saw this because you heard it here eventually, not first. Let's remember that. That's a key.
Listen, this is actually like decently timed from when the news came out. It's not like absurdly like a month later. This could be where you heard it first.
It could be actually, yeah. It was almost like a shadow dropped trailer.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals. It's basically Overwatch, hopefully just better than Overwatch 2. They had a great voice cast just from what we were picked up in the trailer. But this trailer looks awesome. It looks like what Overwatch 1 was. I'm hyped up for it. Like when I saw Overwatch 1's first release trailer, all these heroes, all these abilities, all this cool lore. The good part about the Marvel game is that they have so much lore to lean on already. They're not building a world from scratch.
Because that's the one thing with like Overwatch is like, yeah, I could maybe tell you a little bit, but there's so much of the lore that I do not understand.
Yeah.
And I will never understand now that the game is ass.
Yeah, exactly. And they keep releasing more and more heroes, like insanely.
Yeah.
And this leads directly into one of the other points too, actually, but go over it later. But anyway, if you haven't seen this trailer, I think it's like 3 minutes long. It's a decently long trailer. They show a couple what we think are ults. They show a couple of characters that no one would ever guess would be like front and center in
Yeah,
a
there's
trailer
like one
this.
Luna something. I think it's like an ice hero or something. Never heard
and
of
she
her.
looks like she's support and healing somehow.
Mm-hmm.
There is one X-Men that I've personally never heard of.
Which one?
That's on the roster. I don't remember. I need to look up the roster again. I think they have like 19 announced heroes already. I mean, we saw Doctor Strange voiced very likely by Liam O'Brien, who voiced Gaara in the English Naruto, and he's part of Critical Role.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that Hulk is Travis Worthington, which is he's also on Critical Role. He voiced Thor in a lot of stuff though, so if Thor's in the game, he's probably Thor instead of Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
They already.
I have the roster up if we want to go over that.
Well,
and you continue.
The other voice actors, they
Yuri
have Troy
Lowenthal.
Baker. People think Troy Baker. The only confirmed one is actually Lowenthal.
Oh, really?
Coming back as Spider-Man. He's the only one that's officially listed by Marvel as part of the voice cast. Liam O'Brien is, I swear to God, they would have to have a voice double for it not to be Doctor Strange being him.
Mm-hmm.
But they have Troy Baker and Nolan North. Nolan North, they think are Rocket Raccoon. Which
that'd be cool.
I listened back to it. I could see it. I'm not totally convinced on it, but I could see it doesn't sound like Nathan Drake exactly, right? Like that's his normal voice, but he is a voice actor. He does other voices. Troy Baker, obviously also Joel, and he was right.
Yeah.
Troy Baker's Joel.
I think so.
I feel like he's also a character in Overwatch. Is he Winston in Overwatch?
Yeah, Troy Baker.
That's the.
Let's see.
That's the blonde guy.
I don't think he was in Overwatch. I'm on his filmography.
No, he's not. All right. Then so be it. All right. Now I was just thinking of the blonde guy who voices Winston. Who I don't know. I don't remember that guy's name. And I think that's it for like
people that you recognize
right now.
Yeah.
Well, mostly. Oh, and I think Nolan North was no. Was he Rocket Raccoon? Troy Baker, I think, was Rocket Raccoon. I think Nolan North might have been Iron Man. There's someone who people think is Iron Man. But I can't remember. I feel like I posted it in your Discord.
Yeah.
Actually, let me just go back and fucking read it. Like someone who actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah, not some dumbass.
Yeah, not some piece of shit. That's not some absolute moron. Oh, did I not post it?
Son of a bitch.
I guess I didn't. Oh, I posted it in my work Slack then.
Son of a bitch.
Whatever. Well, those are the names. I just don't remember who they thought was who, and I can't think of the trailer right now. I do think it's the Nolan North as Rocket Raccoon, but it could have been Troy Baker. But yeah, I honestly am super excited for this.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. Destructible environments is something I think Overwatch 2 really missed out on.
I think the team ups are really cool. Like having Groot and Rocket have like a special ult if they're together. I think it's gonna make it so like instead of like there was always like Pharah Mercy is always a good combo, but it's like they're a good combo because they're both like white. It's not like good combo because you use them both and they get a cool special move like this. So I think like team comps will
synergy. Yeah, synergy plays into it, which is very, very cool.
So I think
possibly like borderline overpowered.
I think predetermined, like instead of just like queuing up like two people, is gonna matter like a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, 6v6 is back, which is cool because Overwatch 2 got rid of that.
They went to 5v5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the roster, we got Black Panther, which again with some of these people like. That's why some people are like, this isn't like Overwatch, it's more like Paladins. I've never played Paladins, but I wonder if more of those people like don't really use guns. Because like, yeah, not everyone in Overwatch uses guns, but a majority of them have like a projectile of some sort. So I wonder like if Black Panther is just going to use his claws and like agility, which like, yeah, he's just like a Genji then almost.
You gotta get close combat.
Yeah. We got Bruce Banner, who he is a... Like he's gonna be Bruce Banner, but then he's also gonna be able to transform into Hulk. Which
his
is
health
cool.
goes from like 150 or like 100 to 900.
Yeah.
And he throws gamma energy at people.
he has the cancer ray.
Yeah.
We have Doctor Strange, who I'm sure he's just gonna like throw spells, heal maybe Maybe he's gonna have like something, or he's probably gonna. Yeah, he's gonna have a Symmetra portal. We saw that in the trailer.
I wonder if they are gonna go. I wonder if in Paladins you can have more than one role for a character and build them out differently. Because Doctor Strange, I could see being support or DPS.
Yeah.
Not necessarily tank unless he magics up some golem or something. But
yeah.
Like I could see Iron Man being a tank or DPS also.
Yeah, if he had like Hulkbuster.
He could be Hulkbuster or like.
That'd be cool if like they start running out of people. Which at Marvel, they really can't.
Get the fuck out of here.
But like
X-Men alone could have this game in perpetuity. Yeah.
We have Groot, who I don't know. I'm sure he'd be a tank because he seems like a bulkier Groot.
Yeah, it looks like more comic.
Yeah.
It looks like the characters are based more on the comics than they are on the MCU, which is another cool thing.
Yeah.
It might be a break-in for people who only know the MCU, and it might be a good way for them to get to know more of the actual like background lore and where these characters originated from and their real stories and not necessarily the visually appealing stories.
We got Iron Man. We got Loki, which is cool. He's gonna be like almost like a spy from TF2 because he can transform.
Also like Echo. Echo can
that too. Yeah.
From Overwatch and take their ult. It looks like he used Black Panther's ult.
That's cool.
Like it looks
so
like
then I not like spy. Yeah. We have Luna Snow. Who she's
he
like
could also be like spy. That's his thing. Is like trickster.
This is able to transform into his opponents and copy their skills, but not. Yeah. So I don't know if like the transform is gonna be like a solo thing, or if every time you transform you use their skills type thing. So like you know how like with Echo, she can use their skills, but she turns into like a blue version of them. You're never like, oh, is this person on my team?
You always know.
Yeah.
You always know it's the enemy Echo plus a voice line skew it. But it would be so cool if he was like a combo because the spy could never use the abilities of the other hero. They just look like the other hero to get in close and do like a one-hit kill with their knife for TF2. Echo is they copy the ability and the ult charges up super fast. So you can try to get at least one ult, sometimes two per transformation, which is fucking insane. But I would prefer it if it was like a combo of both, where when you copied someone, you could use their abilities, but it would out you when you use the ability. Like you look like a teammate, and then when you use one of the abilities, it outs you as an enemy. And then they come after you.
We got Luna Snow. I think she's going to. I think like she's gonna skate all the time almost because it says that she'll be hard to pin down. So that's
what
cool.
People thought May should do when she iced in front of her so that she could get a speed boost.
We got Magic with a K.
That's I think the X-Men I didn't know.
I think she's like a blonde girl.
Yeah.
It says the Dark Child of Limbo brings her sword to Marvel rivals as a formidable fighter. Besides wielding deadly swordplay, Magic can transform into a more powerful form to dish out devastating damage.
Oh, we saw that in the trailer, yeah. Like her ult was like the Blood Fury version or something.
Yeah. We saw Magneto, I think in like the back. I don't know if we saw his gameplay, but we saw him in like the background of something. So that's cool. Mantis is in it. Gotta be support. I like can't really see how she's gonna deal damage too much.
Yeah, she seems like a healer, or like she would put the enemy to sleep and stuff. Based on the MCU, because I don't know anything about her comic version.
Namor or Namor, whatever. That's cool. Penny Parker, super cool. She's gonna be like the diva, I imagine. Her plus Hulk, maybe a little bit of both to build their ult and go either Hulk form or Spider Bust or whatever it's called. Punisher was I think again not seen game. Oh, he was.
Yeah, no, he's announced, but I don't remember seeing him in the trailer. I think he might have been a background thing. Or
that's gonna be.
They showed a couple of characters at the end.
Yeah, that's where like
thing.
Yeah, Magneto was seen there. Yeah,
I think that's where Punisher was also.
That's probably just gonna be your basic soldier.
Yeah, probably.
We got Rocket Raccoon.
He'd be like McCree. Sorry, Cassidy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he'd have like
with like heavier guns.
Yeah.
He'd be like Soldier and Cassidy rolled into one, probably.
Yeah. Rocket Raccoon. Definitely a DPS.
But he was also mobile climbing walls.
Yeah.
So he has like the Genji Hanzo ability there. Plus, like from the top of the wall, he's synced up with Groot. In the video, he like launched himself 100 feet to sync up with Groot. That was cool.
Scarlet Witch, which is cool.
OP character.
So I wonder how they're gonna handle that.
A Nexus being.
Spider-Man. That's cool.
Spider-Man did look really cool too. It looks like his maybe ability, but probably ult just pins everyone within a radius in place.
Mm-hmm.
You saw he jumped through Strange's portal and then he just webbed everyone up.
Yeah. Star-Lord Peter Quill. Again, probably just like a faster DPS, I'd imagine. With
Probably
his
can fly too.
Yeah.
Probably fly. I imagine flight will be a big thing because Iron Man looked like he was just straight up flying.
Yeah.
And you probably need characters that can counter him.
And then the last one is Storm.
Yeah, who is like an Omega level mutant.
Yeah.
At her most powerful in the comics, I know. Like she's fucking crazy powerful.
Yeah. So yeah, that's sick. I'm very excited for that game, which I guess could lead into because this one's not going to take too long. The Overwatch 2 PvE is officially dead. I think they said that a little bit before, but now it's like official basically.
But yeah, before it was like, yeah, we're still gonna do those PvE events from Overwatch 1 and we're gonna release new ones from time to time, and now it's like they're just straight up done with it. I think they let go of all the team that were they reassigned.
You're talking about like Junkenstein's Revenge and stuff?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, Junkenstein's Revenge was less, they eventually turned it into a mission kind of thing, but I'm talking about like the Omnix event where you actually had story things. You progressed to 3 different stages of the thing. Like Junkenstein's Revenge was just basically like a brawl.
Yeah.
Survive the gauntlet kind of thing. But yeah, more. I think they were talking more about ones that seemed to kind of give you insight into the lore a little bit, where you played a specific set of characters. You had a mission to to like do and stuff. Blackwatch, the Blackwatch event, and then the Omnix invasion event and stuff.
Yeah, I don't really like that. Sucks. Overwatch was fun. Sucks where it headed. I
think that Marvel Rivals might be filling a gaping hole for me personally as a gamer. Like I really liked Overwatch. It was so much easier to get into than like Valorant or Counter-Strike.
I'll even listen. If Marvel, like any battle pass for Marvel Rivals, I'm probably buying. If there's loot boxes, if there's cool cosmetics, I might buy them. Like, because I love Marvel and it's easy to do that shit. All you do is like, hey, fucking Peter Parker. Nah, now it's the Scarlet Spider or whatever, and just a new skin for him.
It's Nick Cage.
For if they do like
Spider Noir.
Oh,
Spider
that.
Noir.
I was saying like like if they do like Ghost Rider. Now it's like, so you have comic accurate Ghost Rider's like what comes up by default. Then there's like there's this Nick Cage movie Ghost Rider.
God, Nick Cage could just be all over this game basically. Like just every character can be Nick Cageable.
There you go.
That's solid gold. No, I would also buy the Battle Pass probably at least for like a season or two just to see what it is.
Yeah.
But if they somehow promise and deliver on expanding, like being an entry point to find out the lore of Marvel as a whole, I would totally be down for that. Like if it required the Battle Pass, I would do it. Like every 2 to 3 months.
Like if this magic character got like some like intro or something, you mean?
Yeah, or just like you find out more about through maybe like it doesn't necessarily. What we saw was PvP. Maybe they have a PvE aspect to it. I don't think that they announced that, but I don't think that they announced officially very much about the game yet.
Yeah.
So even if it's somehow a PvE thing, or
do we know if it's 2024?
I don't think that they set a date. They really just shadow dropped the trailer. They made an announcement the day before the trailer dropped that a game event announcement was coming. I think people thought it was going to relate to Your Big Titty. And then they came out with this, totally blindsided everybody. Like,
yeah. Also, it is completely free to play. So yeah, Battle Pass is almost
guaranteed
100% gonna be a thing. Yeah.
Either Battle Pass or loot boxes.
Yeah.
Basically. Which I spent a fortune on.
Oh, it'll launch in May.
They said that?
That's what I'm on a Variety page. It says we'll launch in May.
Damn. I mean, it did look pretty
done.
Like the trailer made it look like it was pretty solid, right? They have so little announced.
Oh wait, it says wait. Okay, I'm confused because paragraph 1 says a new free-to-play Marvel PC games title, Marvel Rivals, will launch in May. Paragraph 2 says the initial roster available to players with the closed alpha version in May. Exact release date to be determined will include blah 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 blah. So I wonder if it's
What was
like
the alpha?
you know how Fortnite like said closed beta for a long ass time, but they like the game was open and then
They were just
eventually they just took the tag away. I wonder if it's gonna be
yeah.
like that.
It probably will be. I mean, I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 technically did that
Yeah.
for a while. They had alpha builds that people could play and just like play until you went to like a fog area of the world and then you were done. And they totally revamped it
Yeah.
time to time. Yeah, everything is just estimates right now.
Yeah. But yeah, my big today is the other new Marvel game announced, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. We know nothing gameplay wise. I'm pretty sure we know that it's gonna be single player. We know that it's gonna be an action adventure game. We know that you're gonna play as both Captain America and Black Panther. It is based off of the limited series Captain America Black Panther Flags of Our Fathers, apparently, which is a World War II story. But besides that, we don't really know much. I will say, I don't know if you watched the trailer. There's a point of the trailer where like I was like, am I looking at live action? Like it looked so good.
I saw pieces of it because I was looking at like an article for it and they had like little gifs of it and it did look very like Marvel Rivals doesn't look high quality at all.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look photorealistic at all. But Marvel 1943, yeah. I knew it was a date in the 40s. I thought it was either 43 or 46. Even though you just said it, I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah, that looked crazy good. I was like,
even
holy
like
shit,
the
it's Chris
faces,
Evans.
yeah.
I said,
like,
holy shit, that's Chris Evans. Yeah.
Carrie Payton is being the Black Panther, who's not T'Challa or T'Chaka. It's Azuri, which I'm sure is maybe he's like the first Black Panther because he, or
well, you're talking about the 1940s, right? It
yeah.
would be, wouldn't it be T'Challa's dad basically at that point?
It says
No, wait, T'Challa.
T'Challa was Chadwick Boseman. T'Chaka was his dad. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it'd be the one before him.
Or the one before him. So 40 something. So let's say if this is going based on the MCU timeline, T'Challa's Black Panther around 2018, right? 2018, 2019. And he's young. T'Chaka was old around then, but let's say like he was Black Panther 30 years, for 30 years before that. You're only talking about 1990 something.
Okay, in the comics,
so it's probably his great grandfather.
Well, in the comics, this says T'Chaka is the eldest son of King Azuri. So that would be
eldest son, not the youngest son. Wow.
Yeah. But again, I mean, comics, MCU, also it's like
yeah.
But yeah, so you're gonna be playing as both of them, and it's probably gonna be like, hey, we don't know who each other's, who we like you are and I am, and then so it's gonna be like, hey, we're rivals, but then it's gonna be like, oh my god, we need to work together to fight Hydra, and I'm very excited for it.
It's like he's a writer.
Yeah,
like he's a writer right in the room right there.
I've got it all planned out already.
Groundbreaking.
But yeah, that's gonna be 2025. And again, this was a complete like cinematic thing. The game could look nothing like it, and it would be disappointing. But if that's what we get, I think I need to get it purely on visuals. And as a Marvel fan, I need to get it.
As long as it's a well done Marvel game.
Yeah.
I feel like with Marvel Rivals in this game, they might be upping. Well, obviously in the Spider-Man games, they might be upping their game, like not necessarily budget, but their impact.
And they really need to, because like I think a lot of people shit on Marvel because of the MCU recently, because like MCU fatigue is a real thing. But like there's so much Marvel, and I feel like everyone's like, oh, Marvel, MCU, and it's like that's not the case at all whatsoever. Same thing with like even like X-Men 97, which is like apparently incredible.
I know, I have to watch that.
I know, me too. I just yesterday I finished season 2 of the old one, and there's 5 seasons.
I'm just jumping right into the news.
Well, you saw the old one like when it was airing.
Okay, I mean, I was alive.
No, you said that. I didn't assume that. You said that.
I haven't seen all of it, but I have seen most of the ending stuff.
Yeah,
I think, unless I saw like a season ender and it wasn't really.
The show ends with Professor X going off to space. I know that for sure.
I think I saw that. I mean, I like that he's in that like hover chair thing.
Yeah.
Is he in that in the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know what I could. I don't know what I could know about it. Oh my god, I don't know what I could hear or what would be unique about my run that I watched when it was airing. But I think I saw close to the end of it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean the show right now is not bad. I think it's obviously definitely dated, but like usually like American cartoons like or old cartoons like specifically I can't really get into now. Like Young Justice I tried to watch and it wasn't bad. It's just like I got bored of it after a while. I'll probably give it another go, but like
Yeah.
this one is keeping me entertained for a while.
Yeah. I'm just gonna watch jump right into the new one. I
Yeah.
don't care that much about seeing the old stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean we're at 55 minutes, so it's up to
Is that
you.
all you want to say about the game?
I mean, what else is there to say? We know nothing
I
about
know
it.
there's not a lot. I know there's not a lot. Yeah. I think we can get to the two that I didn't mark as next week. We can just save, and we'll pick back up moments from history and
Top three.
top three next week. We did two. We took a break for two. Then you'll bring it back with the next one.
There we go.
Episode 36. So let's just do Dragon's Dogma 2 first because I think we'll have more to talk about for the next thing. So Dragon's Dogma 2 reviewed crazy high. Like I think I saw like maybe 8 out of 10 and most of them were 9 out of 10s. I don't think very many 10 out of 10s. It's probably a Metacritic score somewhere around like 89 or 87 or something like that. But yeah, the game apparently is amazing if you can play it, which is a big if because even on like beast PCs and especially on consoles, apparently it's running like dog shit. Which I bought it, I own it, I have it down here, it's sitting right over there. I can see the case, but I'm not gonna play it till they patch it a couple of times. I don't think. Which they just released a big patch for PC, and they just released another big patch for PC and PS5, and then the Xbox patch is coming later. I don't know why there's a difference in the timeline. I know that there's like QA of the patches. I don't know why it's taking longer at Microsoft than does at Sony. I kind of thought it was the reverse for a while, but the game looks really good. I've seen a couple people stream it. It looks like really interesting. Dragon's Dogma 1 released like crap, and eventually they patched it and improved it till it was a really good game. And it looks like Dragon's Dogma 2 just starts as a good game. It's just they did not focus on optimizing it. So it crashes all the time, especially in character creator. So you could spend hours creating characters or like pawns, as they call them in the game, and then the game crashes and you lost all that progress. And there's so many things that you can change. I don't know who was seeing some of them online, but people were making like Shrek as a character. Like you could do tons of stuff with character creator, which might be one of the reasons why it does crash because it's trying to render all these ridiculous, like Homer Simpson type people that with yellow skin and 3 hairs on their head and stuff. But another thing too, besides the performance, which is an issue, which I guess they're patching, is the microtransactions. Everyone's all pissed about it. From what I've heard, because again, I have not played yet, and my friends that are playing it have not played far enough to see how impactful this is. One of the big ones, the one that I kept hearing over and over again, was to fast travel early in the game, you need to pay, which is probably true, but they specifically say early in the game, which not a lot of games want you to fast travel early. So if you want to play the game the way that it's intended, the way that they like would normally unfold, how you would play any other game before this one came out, you'll get the resources or the ability to fast travel at X time in the game, and that's when you get it, and that's when you can start using it. That's when you can start maybe buying in game. I think you have to like break like a rune stone to do it, so you have to buy the rune stones. So I'm not personally that upset about it. I do have a friend who's a little concerned that they're using it as a beta test for microtransactions for Monster Hunter, which is obviously a much bigger, more popular series than Dragon's Dogma is at the time. And they could probably go pretty hard. That game is all about the grind. That game is you go on a hunt and it takes maybe an hour, maybe 4 hours.
Yeah.
So if they're going to give you the, hey, you're a working parent, or hey, you have a 9-to-5 job, you don't have a ton of time, why don't you spend $10 and be able to fast forward these things? I get why that would be appealing to people, but I really think it's such like again, it's a
But
bad
yeah,
precedent.
well, I think it's also like it doesn't if it's not hours and hours and hours of time saving, the people who want it are gonna buy it, and the people who don't aren't, and it's not gonna affect them that much.
Right. Yeah. Because it's available in game.
Yeah.
I think the risk is they pull out the available in game aspect of it
Yeah. Then it's
and
like
force
that's
the payment.
crazy. Yeah.
That's why I'm fine with the iteration of it here. I would never do the microtransactions. I
Yeah.
just don't care about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about skins enough to microtransact except Overwatch.
I would consider like if there because usually like if there's like an ultimate edition of a game, 9 times out of 10 like on Steam, I'm gonna get whatever the best version of the game I can get. So it's like if it just came in there, sure, maybe I'd use them. But like I probably wouldn't go out of my way to buy anything.
And the thing is, if you don't buy those right away, like maybe it's because you don't have the means to, and if you really, so it's like you have to choose between the ultimate edition and being able to pay to win kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always like nerve wracking or like fear inducing when games start experimenting with stuff like this because you really don't want to see them go to the extreme where if you want to beat the game basically at all, you have to pay.
Yeah.
Like you could either beat it in 200 hours or you can beat it in a normal time without having to grind. Because the thing is, they lock a lot of the microtransactions. What they do is they lock whatever you're buying behind grinding infinite hours in the game. And if you have to spend, the entire play session to grind one of the things that you need 20 of, it's going to make you either want to pay for it or put the game down and not play it.
Yeah.
But you already bought the game, so they already got their money that way. So you would need to know in advance and basically boycott the game or like the series or something. So it's just a little bit of a concern depending on how they implement it in their other series, because obviously Dragon's Dogma 3 wouldn't come out for like another like 6 years or something. If it's a Dragon's Dogma specific thing, then who cares?
Yeah.
But I'm not that concerned. If people are concerned if there's other things in the game that really are game breaking and people have played it, let us know. Because I personally want to hear about it. I will eventually play it. I will eventually find out. But by the time I get to it with my backlog, there might be 0 microtransactions in the game, or Capcom might have shut down as a company. I don't know.
Either or is possible.
Yeah, I think the first one is more likely than the second. But yeah, excuse me. They have Resident Evil going for them still. That'll keep them afloat by itself.
True.
0 microtransactions. Well, actually, technically, Monster Hunter World 2 is huge. What a huge series! I never knew.
I know.
I've seen the games.
And I played the
from time to
demo
time.
of whatever the last like
The
big
newest
Switch
one, Rise.
No, what was the one
Rise.
before that?
World? There's World and Rise.
I don't know. I played the demo of one of them, and like I don't know, it didn't like entice me that much. So
Recent Monster Hunter game, #1 Dragon's Dogma 2. Are you fucking kidding me? Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Now, Monster Hunter Wilds. I think Wilds is the new one that's coming out.
I want to say I tried. Yeah, Wilds is coming out. I want to say I tried World.
I think Rise is more recent. Yeah, World came out in 2019. Rise came out in 2022.
Yeah, I want to say
Monster
I tried
Hunter
the
Wilds
demo
is
of
either
World.
later this year or next year.
Yeah, and it wasn't bad. It was just like there was so much to do.
It says 2025 already.
Super overwhelming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the thing. Like you have like an overwhelming game. I mean, imagine if Breath of the Wild. No. Tears of the Kingdom had. All right, you can explore the depths, or you can buy in game the Zonite that you need to upgrade your battery for $20.
Yeah.
I invested the time and grinded it out. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but that would have tempted me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have stood my ground because I don't do in-game purchases. I do not do microtransactions. It would have to be something amazing for me to get it.
Except Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle.
Yeah, well, of course, there's always the exception. But I've been treating that as free to play for quite a while now. Also, I went in with the mindset for that game. Sorry, tangent here. I went in the mindset with that game of I need to catch up and have teams that can do the hard events fast. And that mindset stayed with me a little bit too long, to the point where it was like I need to be able to do the hardest events now.
Yeah.
And you need the new units to do that. And now I've kind of gotten myself out of that mentality. So if I miss a unit here or there, I don't care. I don't think I got the featured unit on the last 3 fucking banners. Fuck you, Dokkan, but so yeah, we'll see. Free to play, it's really not that terrible. You still get a couple of summons per banner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been treating that as free to play for a while, but yeah, for the most part, microtransactions don't get me. But I mean, you can imagine something like that. You explore all of the depths and you get all the zonite you need to upgrade your battery to halfway for $20. That would have been. I mean, that would save what? I mean, how long did we to light the depths up? It probably took me like 20 hours. But I also get good weapons and you get other stuff that you'd miss out on with the microtransactions. So it would have to like. There's no compensation for that. You wouldn't get the weapons from the hard enemies that you fight. You wouldn't be killing enough bokoblins to upgrade them in the world to have silver levels so you can get the best monster gear or monster drops and stuff.
Yeah.
So there are trade-offs to the microtransactions also if they go that route that I'm thinking. But yeah. Are you going to play Dragon's Dogma 2 ever, you think?
I probably would try out 1 especially if it's fixed now.
Well, 1 is apparently a great game. I don't know how much it costs on Steam. I think it's gone on sale all the time. I think it goes on sale. It is an old game now. It came out around the same time as another big RPG.
2012.
Why?
Is it
But
like
it's not Skyrim.
like a Dragon's Age?
It might have been around the same time as a Dragon's Age. Skyrim came out in 2011 or 2013 because I remember the release date when I was working at GameStop. It was like 9, 10, 11 or 10, 11, 12 or 11, 12, 13 or something. Obviously, there's nowhere beyond that. There's no 14. Well, there was a 14, but there's no 13. No, it could be December 13th. But I don't think it was then.
You're saying that they didn't take a week off like the Elden Ring DLC and the 14 new expansion just for this?
No. The release date was like numerical increasing. I remember that. I always thought I was like, oh, what a cool release date. And Skyrim had so many fucking people at that midnight release. And I never played Elder Scrolls, so I never understood it.
And he's still playing through it 20 months later.
Yeah. My first redeem, I haven't had a second redeem yet, and we haven't been punished yet, thank God. So I'll look that up later. There was something that came out right around the same time as Dragon's Dogma, and it made Dragon's Dogma look like trash by comparison.
Couldn't tell you. I'm not seeing anything.
I don't remember what it is. I don't remember. It wasn't like the same day. It was like the same, like within 2 to 3 month period.
Wait, what the fuck? This takes place in a high fantasy world inspired by Sicily? That's close to Italy. But some Italians, let me tell you, you want to hear some Italian tea? Some Italians don't fuck with Sicilians. I won't name names, but some Italians don't fuck with Sicilians. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Sicilians are very often portrayed as like the mobsters in Hollywood, like in The Sopranos.
Also, it's like not me that doesn't fuck with Sicilians, just to clarify. But I do know some people who don't fuck with Sicilians. But I do. I love all people.
Yeah, he'll fuck a Sicilian. He doesn't care. Just Sicilian ladies, he's not rebuffing you. Like, send yourselves in waves. Throw yourselves at him.
Yeah. Figure something out.
Yeah. I don't know if you really need to play 1 to play 2.
But like,
I'm sure it's set in the same world. I know you will.
Yeah.
I know it's set in the same world, but that's about it. But yeah. If I will eventually play it, and I probably will not play 1. If Vinny plays 1, I'll watch him stream it. So that's good enough for me. I'll play the game vicariously through him. So you ready to move on? Last agenda item.
Yup.
I talked about this, I think, last pod. I briefly mentioned it. I think it was my big titty of the week.
Yeah.
last pod. But Vinny finally saw it. Dune Part 2. The director is French, so I imagine he was saying Part 2 on set a lot.
All the time.
But you saw it, so hit me up. Give me your thoughts.
I liked it. I'm still torn between a 4.5 and a 5. Like, I feel like I don't know, because
let me pose this to you.
Okay.
If Dune 1 and 2 were one movie,
way too long.
Would it be a guaranteed 5 though for content? Because it is one book.
Yeah.
So it really is like and the book's not that long. I'm surprised it took 2 movies that are this length to adapt it. and you just got the book, right?
Yeah, I'm reading it right
Right.
now.
Yeah. So I feel like it just sucks that obviously the first movie is like the first half of the book, and everyone knows the good shit happens in the second half of the
Mm-hmm.
book, right? In every book, it's like that. There's no book where it's like the first half is awesome and the second half is just total dog shit.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't know. I definitely really liked it. I think my two main complaints were one, there were way too many scenes in this movie where it was pitch black and then fucking blinding lights. Multiple times in the theater, I turned away from the screen because it was
did you
so
see it
bright.
IMAX?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, holy fuck. I think one time I jumped a little bit because it's like so abrupt. It's like a snap and then it's just blinding.
There is one transition I remember specifically, and I saw the movie 3 times, and it got me all 3 times. It hurt my eyes,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Son of a
Like
bitch."
that's like a joke complaint because it's like if I'm watching at home, that's probably not gonna happen. The other one though is I just felt like it was so fucking long. But like the thing to go along with that is there's not a single scene in the movie that I could do without, I think. Like all the scenes were necessary, but it just felt so long. Like that's a movie where I walked out and I was like, that was like 3 hours. Whereas like I walk out of Endgame and I was like, holy shit, it's over already.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
yeah,
because it's more straight action,
yeah.
right? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some scenes could have been shortened, but I don't think enough to really make the movie not feel long.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm thinking like when spoiler alert at this point on, if we start talking
Yeah.
about the movie, we might, if you know, and I'm probably gonna reference the book a little bit toward the end too. But the scene when Jessica goes to see how the water of life is collected,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like that could have been shorter. You don't
Yeah.
need to show the worm and explain that they're two and together, they kill each other, one of them kills the other one or something.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see the baby worm? Sure. You could have just had Jessica walk into the scene where they're extracting the water of life already.
Yeah.
And someone explains this to her. And instead, it's like there is a mantra from good directors and storytellers and stuff. It's show, don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there are times when telling is very, very, very effective and
Yeah.
makes the showing that would take a really long time not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scene that I could see. She walks in the middle of the ceremony that's already happening.
Yeah.
That's totally fine, and it cuts that. Probably cuts a scene that's it was like what 3 to 4 minutes down to one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get minutes here and there on the editing floor that you could do without, or that you could make work. Maybe even the fight with Fade Rotha.
The
You know, make
final
that a
one?
little bit. No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
I was gonna
The
say.
one his birthday
Oh,
celebration.
yeah.
Like having him walking in the palace for so long until he catches on to the Bene Gesserit following him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, it's like
there
little
are
shit
little
like
things,
that, yeah. But
but you
yeah,
can take the scenes out entirely. You
exactly.
can't
Yeah.
remove them entirely for you to understand what's going
Yeah.
on. So yeah,
No, but I think Timothy Chalamet much better. I mean, I didn't hate him in the first movie, but like he really found his role in this one.
yeah.
Like that final
Oh,
that
yeah.
that scene in the cave where he's giving that speech, I was like, hell yeah, I'm about to go fight for you, man.
And I could not imagine him, like the actor, doing that scene in this when Dune 1 was being
Yeah.
filmed.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't see it happening. Yeah.
But yeah, either way, whether it's a 4.5 or a 5 for me, either way, it's a great film.
What do you think about the humor? You think the memes are warranted for
Me and Ben scream Lisan Al Gaib all the time to each other.
as written, as it is written, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I think that everyone did a good job with their characters in that movie.
Yeah.
The director, I don't know all of his work. I don't know what else he's done besides.
I think he
Dune
did.
1
Didn't
and
he
2.
do Blade Runner?
Did he do 2049?
He either did the original or he did the remake. I
The
think.
original was Ridley Scott, I think.
Oh. He did 2049. Yeah. Oh, he did Arrival. I love Arrival.
Oh yeah, Arrival's the other one that people are saying. Yeah, I think that Blade Runner is like the one that's considered the odd child out in that set of movies.
Because it's
Set of
not
movies.
good.
Not that it's terrible, but that it's not amazing, right?
Mm.
Like that.
Oh, he did Prisoners too with Hugh Jackman and
Yeah, that's
Jake
a dark horse,
Gyllenhaal.
but I think that's
That's
really
a good one.
movie.
Yeah.
I've seen that a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends from GameStop actually made us come over to his house one time just to watch it. He was like, "I love this movie. You guys have to see it."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? Um, yeah, I agree that the movie's great. So you're going on like a 5 scale. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think on a scale of 10, I would give it probably a 9 out of 10. Just because I do think there are some minor things that they could have done better or shown better. And there's some like little like harsh critiques. Like in the final when he's talking to the Baron at the end, you can't really hear what he's saying over the music. The music swells to too loud, too much of a crescendo, and without subtitles because of course he finally speaks English. He's not speaking Fremen, and there's no subtitles. So I understood what he said, but every time I went to the movies with someone, they had to ask me. At least one person in the group said,
I
"What
really wanted Christopher Walken to be like Muad'Dib.
He's the emperor, just FYI. I was surprised to see that, and he doesn't have a lot of lines, but he did do the Christopher Walken thing. Baron, where would you say, or what would you say this Muad'Dib is? You know, like it wasn't extreme Walken, but you got a little bit of the Walken.
Yeah.
I also think I don't think you've gotten there in the book, like to an actual physical description, but you know how the princess, you see her like excerpts at the beginning of every chapter, probably. When you do see her, she's described as like this ethereal beauty, like the most beautiful woman in the cosmos.
Listen, Florence Pugh.
I don't think Florence Pugh is that attractive, to be honest.
Listen, ever since I saw Black Widow, I was like, damn.
I think that's her best look.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She doesn't really do it for me, but
okay, going back to the rating on Letterboxd,
like Margot Robbie, fine.
Yeah.
100%.
On Letterboxd, it is an insane, like I've never seen this much of a discrepancy from like the majority to not. So like 522,000 people gave it a 5 out of 5, which is the most. 4.5 has 273.6k. So it's like it almost, I think it did double it. And it's like, am I missing something?
I think a lot of people just think it's a very, very good adaptation. I think a lot of those people read the books.
Yeah.
Or read this book. And I will say, I think it's a very good adaptation. Yeah. I think there are some explanations that you get in the book, like that are more drone-ons from like tutors and stuff, like how the shields work, for example.
Yeah.
You don't know how the fuck the shields work, really. I would need to rewatch 1 to see if they explain it as in depth as they do in the book, but I don't think they do. The way that the guilds work, like they left some of that stuff out entirely to make it more acceptable and more digestible for an audience. That's fine, but I appreciate having that information. And
one thing that I noticed in the books is like they really lean into, or they don't lean into in the movie, the fact that like Jessica and Leto aren't like actually married, or at least like if they do, concubine. Like if they do, I missed it in the first one, but like they have like an in-depth conversation of like, you don't even have to come to dinner with me because we're not married. Like, yeah, you'll have to come to events, but like personal dinner, like you don't need to show up.
I think in the first movie he does say, I regret not marrying you.
Yeah.
I think he does say that when they're like, when it's in bed right at night, right before he gets murdered, or right before he's attacked and the betrayal happens and stuff. I think he does say that to her. But in the book, they go into a much deeper explanation about like the great houses, like more of them, and Jessica being a concubine and not being like Duchess or whatever. So his hand is still open for marriage if he does need it. But even though he's an illegitimate son, technically, Paul is next in line for mantle of the head of the great house and stuff.
And then they also hint, they might in the movie, I don't remember movie 1, but they hint very early on, like second chapter or something, or the first chapter where you see the Harkonnens, that Jessica is his daughter. Like, if I didn't know that beforehand, I probably wouldn't have caught on to it. But you see that very early on, that they hint that there's something else going on.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. I read the book after I watched the first movie. Obviously not after I watched the second movie. It just came out. So there are things like that that I did not pick up on at all until the end of the book when you find out.
Yeah.
Like when you hear about the revelations.
And then another thing that they do in the book is that like right from before they even leave Caladan, that you know that Yue is the one who's going to betray them. which I don't think you know in the because it's like you don't get
Right.
the
But
excerpts
it's
from the princess beforehand,
right.
and that's in her
Right.
excerpts. Yeah.
Yeah. You find out that there is a betrayer before it
Yeah.
actually happens, and
Mhm.
if you've seen the movie and you can pick up on some of the hints
No,
dropped in
like
the book, there's foreshadowing too.
no, like it says like Doctor
It
Yue.
actually
All
straight
yeah,
says it.
it's like he'll later be known as the betrayer of House Atreides or something like that in one of her excerpts at the beginning of a chapter.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You find out more to it, I guess. You find out even more to it in the book though than you do in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like him just saying it's his wife or whatever. But
Yeah.
in the book, I think he basically is saying to the Duke as it happens, like I'm almost positive she's dead, or like I won't ever see her again. But there's just this, for the sliver of hope, I need to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the hardest thing ever, or something like that. He's a more heartfelt, I think, in the book,
Yeah.
and they don't have time to show you those kinds of conversations when the man's kind of
Mm-hmm.
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also want you to surprise. They also want you to be surprised in the movie
Mm-hmm.
when he does certain things, right? Like when he does the breath thing to try and poison the Baron, and I think in the book he just straight up like replaces his tooth with it. Like you just see him do it.
What are you talking about? That happened
Like in the book.
In the movie, he replaces his tooth.
I know in the movie he does it. Does he show it? Do
Yeah.
they show it in the first movie? Oh, okay, then never mind that. Yeah.
Yeah, he gives him the tooth and he's like, bite down on this one when it's right or something.
Yeah, when the moment, wait for your moment.
Yeah.
It's like when the Baron releases his shield or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I had dropped something. Sorry to pick it up.
Yeah.
And then, like toward the end, there are just a couple of things that they've changed for sure. Do you care if I say them?
I don't care.
That
I
you
know
read
there's
the
a
book?
time skip.
You do know that?
Yeah, you
'Cause
said
I
that
told you
last
that, or
time. Yeah.
because I said it last time, yeah. So, and I honestly need to reread the book to know for sure. I'm relying somewhat on Fisher Phoenix's memory for this too, but he read the book and he has a lot better of a memory when it comes to these things. There is an 8-year time skip. His sister is born, exists.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that stabs the Baron and says hello, grandfather, or whatever
Oh, really?
relation it is. Yeah.
That's cool.
And she's kind of like the baby from Twilight, where because of the poison, she's awakened to Bene Gesserit's skills much earlier. The way that Jessica in the movie is talking to her, and she gets that telepathy and stuff. She's like a young, like as a baby, she's very hyper aware. I think that she learns to speak a couple months old as opposed to like over a year or something. And then the relationship between Paul and Johnny is totally different.
Oh,
basically.
really?
Like she just straight up loves him. Like she's doesn't like yeah, she's a fighter, but she's turns out like it's more like there are certain things where like Fremen familial society and stuff take effect. For example, like the guy that he kills to get into
join.
the Fremen. He has to take ownership or like take care of that dude's children. He has like 3 children back at the Siege.
Yeah.
Siege Tabor. And I'm pretty sure Johnny and Paul have 2 kids by the end of the first book.
Does he
might
do
be they
the
have
whole
one
like?
kid and then she's pregnant.
Does he do the whole like leave her marry or like take the princess's hand type thing that he does at the end of the movie?
So I'm pretty sure I know that happens, but I'm pretty sure what happens is the princess suggests it, and Paul says that is an option, but just know that we would never be as a married couple. We would never lay together or something. And I mean, as an emperor, or as like a head of a house, you could have concubines, you can do whatever. But Jessica chimes in and says, "It's true. I know my son. You'll never bear children or whatever because he's in love with this one." And they point to Johnny, and Johnny knows that Paul is 100% in her camp. So I think that they changed that for sure for like dramatic effect if they do another movie.
Because then she stays on
pregnant.
Arrakis.
His kids are important. Yeah, I mean it
Yeah.
looks like she does. And at the end of the first book, I don't think that you see them leave the planet at that point yet. So that's something that like hints toward the future. And for Johnny, like she stays with him. And I know their kids are very important to the future of the series. So as the movies go on, I imagine what would happen is like Johnny's pregnant on Arrakis with his kid already and just isn't showing yet. and then that kid will be very important. I don't know if they'll have another kid or whatever.
Are you gonna play the MMO?
I don't know. It's a survival MMO. I'm not too keen on those. I really got to see more of it.
Yeah.
I really wish that it came out a lot closer to this second movie releasing. I wish they had somehow been able to do that. I don't want them to rush development at all. I don't want them to go through crunch hell and all that other stuff, but I do wish that it released while the hype for this movie is at its maximum.
It does say sometime 2024, but yeah, that could be like December.
But it's also an MMO.
Yeah.
MMOs, if there's any type of game that's going to be delayed, it's going to be an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that they made a couple of changes. I don't mind really any of the changes. There's a lot of stuff that they do leave out. Like in the book, when he drinks the water of life, he's unconscious for 2 or 4 weeks or something like that. Something crazy like that, where he's barely breathing. He is resurrected through Johnny again, and it's actually natural. It's not forced by Jessica with the voice and stuff. Maybe she has to make her cry because the Fremen are so conditioned to not cry or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
is she like, wait, so is she still like so mad at him like she is in the movie?
No, she's just happy that he's alive.
Okay.
I think that she's upset that he would risk himself like that, but I don't think it really causes strife in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
In the book, I don't remember them really fighting.
In the movie, it's anything. Like you said you weren't going to be a leader.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think he goes that in depth with Johnny, because he doesn't really picture anything. He has some visions, but I don't think they're as clear as they're made in the book. Or they're as clear as they're made in the movie from the spice. I think that but once he does the water of life, he sees everything, right?
Yeah.
He sees basically pathways in the future, and you find out that the star captains or whatever guild it is that pilot the spaceships, they've been using spice heavily to navigate the starways accurately and not go into wormholes and die. So that's why they need spice. That's a big reason why they need spice. But also, while he's unconscious and kind of seeing all these things about his family, I think that he literally goes all the way back to the origin of the Great Houses, to the war with the AI that rose up, kind of like Terminator style, and waged war on humanity. And the reason why none of the robots are actually like talking robots or sentient at all, they're all just serve one function. That's it. It's because humanity dabbled with AI before it almost killed them. So there's strict laws thousands of years in the future at this point that they can't do anything else with AI. If you read the appendix, you see that's stuff that you might see it as some background conversation with characters in the book. But you also find out much more clearly how spice is made when Paul is under in his visions. I won't spoil that for you because I don't think that you pick up on it at all from the movie. Gotcha. It's so subtly hinted at, really. Do you have any notion of what it could be? How spice is made now? They
just got to Iraq is where I'm at.
Yeah, there's other things that you'll see that'll point to it more in the book too. Some characters play out differently. Some things happen differently, and you get a little bit of an explanation from some characters when you get their inner monologue that you don't get in the movies. Obviously,
there was also no Duncan Idaho coming back to Caladan in the book. I don't think. Remember how like they greet each other on Caladan? He comes back and then he's like, "I'm going back to Iraq."
Oh right, yeah.
There's none of that in the book.
They introduce him in person on Arrakis.
Yeah.
He's a cool character though. Taken too soon from us.
Yeah.
I have heard that somehow he plays a role like later on in other books, but I don't see how. I don't think they do. Maybe through flashbacks somehow to deal with Paul, or maybe like Paul's kids can see into the future and into the past or whatever because of his abilities now.
That'd be cool.
And they get to meet Duncan Idaho that way or something, or like they see conversations. I don't know. I probably will, once they officially confirm they're making a Dune 3 or like the next Dune movie, I'll probably read the whole series. I'll probably reread 1 and then read the whole series.
Yeah, I'll probably just jump into it because I don't want to really reread 1 at that point.
Yeah, you're totally fine rewatching movies. Like, I mean, movies are only 2 hours.
2 hours,
life, right?
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? I forgot now.
Like penis boob.
That's honestly probably it. Yeah.
Fun fact: caca in Spanish means poop.
No one ever knew that one.
Yeah, no one's ever heard them. Not even in Spain or in Mexico.
Yeah.
Or any other Spanish-speaking country.
He invented it just now.
Yeah, you know though. Now you know when people say caca, they mean poop.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think that's it then.
Yeah.
Where do we end here?
Hour and a
How long?
half.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't think we were going that long.
I knew Dune 2 was gonna take a long time. I haven't eaten dinner. I'm so hungry.
Well, at least it's an hour into the future for you, or past.
Yeah.
It's 8:30 for me.
Yeah, it's 7:30. I gotta make a frozen pizza now. And
then
then
we can talk even though we're in different times.
Isn't that I hate time zones.
The time space continuum. Fucking insane.
And now I gotta eat on stream, which I hate doing.
The horror. What are you gonna stream? Sonic, nice. All right, well that's easy to eat through. All right. Well, let's wrap it up so that you can get to your food. So that's it, everybody. Whatever you heard, you want to leave comments, any thoughts, any provocative things. If you have feedback for us about why Vinny fainted or why my back is a total shit show.
Mm-hmm. If you think we're sexy,
any doctors in the audience?
That.
Yeah, that too. But until next time, you didn't hear it here first, didn't hear it here last, you heard it here eventually.